Hey everybody, my name is Mohit and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing great. This is challenge number 26 of Solving SQL Challenges playlist, and in this video we are going to discuss a very important Accenture interview question. So as per the problem statement, we have to track customer KYC log changes and simulate SCD type 2 for historical records. Basically, here we have to implement solution for two different problems. First, we have to track the log changes, and second, we have to implement the SCD type 2. Okay, so let us understand this problem statement in a bit detail. So here you can see we have KYC log table given, and we have some sample data for customer ID 1 and 2. If you observe this table, for customer ID 1, he updated his KYC on 10th of June 2025 three times. And just by observing the record, we can of course say that this third record is the latest KYC log detail for customer ID 1. Why? Because this last updated date time is the latest one for customer ID 1. Same if we check for customer ID 2, he did KYC log update on 11th of June 2025 four times. And this fourth record for customer ID 2 can be considered as the latest KYC log detail because it has the latest updated date time. Okay. So using this data and information, we have to generate an output something like this, in which first two columns are same, ID and customer ID, and third column is also same. Only thing that we have renamed this column name from last updated DTTM to start DTTM. And for this fourth and fifth column, we have to create a logic in order to populate these additional columns. What approach we should follow in order to create logic? Let us discuss that part. And for that, let me switch to SSMS. Okay, so this is the same output table which we have to generate. So if you look for customer ID 1, this customer did his first update at this time, then second update on this time. So while second log, which is this one, was active, this first log should be inactive, right? So for that, this NDTTM should be same as this minus 1 second so that these timing will look intact or continuous. So for first update, start time was this, and since it was updated second time also, so for the first update, we will put end time as this time minus 1 second. Similarly, when this customer ID 1 did his third update, so at that time we have to make sure that this second transaction should be inactive and this end DTTM should be this minus 1 second. Now, since this third update is the latest update, so we will put this end DTTM as this value. And for this record, is active flag should be 1. Okay. So for customer ID 1, this record is active and rest these two records are inactive. Similarly, we can check for customer ID 2. So now let us implement the same logic using SQL query. Okay, so DDL and DML script was already given. So I have created table and I'll share those details in description box so you can get it from there if you need it. Okay. So let me first select that table. If I run this, we can see this input data for customer ID 1 and 2. Now first two columns should be same. And we will rename this third column as start DTTM as per the problem requirement. Now this fourth column, which is end date time, if we check here for customer ID 1, in order to populate this record, we should get this one minus 1 second, and that value we will populate here, right? So basically, we have to shift these values by 1 unit for every customer ID, and we will subtract 1 second from those values. Okay, so how we can achieve it? So we can achieve it using lead window function. So here we need to specify which column we need to shift. So here we have to shift this column, and in which window frame we have to shift these values. So basically we have to shift these values considering customer ID as a window. Okay, so we will write over partition by what? This column, and in which order you want to arrange this last updated date time column in order to shift this value. So I would like to arrange using ID column because this is continuous based on the ascending order of last updated DTTM, right? So what we will do, order by ID. So this part will do what? It will shift the column by 1 unit by creating window. So how this will look like? So for that, let me run this one. Okay. Let me name this column as end date time. So just consider this part because we have created window on customer ID. So this will create one window and we can observe this one. This value has been shifted by 1 unit. Similarly, this value has been shifted by 1 unit. And for customer ID 1, we don't have any value below this one. So it is null. Okay. And since this end date time for customer ID 1 is null for this log, we can consider this as an active log. Okay. So our first step is achieved. We have shifted these values by 1 unit. Similarly, you can check for customer ID 2. This value has been shifted by 1 unit, this by 1 unit, this one by 1 unit. And since there is no record below this, it is null. Okay. But as per the problem requirement, the end date time should be this minus 1 second, right? So we have to subtract 1 second from this value. So in order to perform it, we can use date add function. Okay. So this will require three arguments. First is what we need to add or subtract. So in our case, we need to subtract 1 second, right? So we will use second by what quantity? Minus 1. And on which value you want to subtract 1 second? So this is our value, right? We will close this bracket. Now if I run this, we can observe that this value minus 1 second is this one. This is ending with 06 and this is ending with 05. Similarly, this value minus 1 second is this one. This is ending with 08 and this is ending with 07. Okay. So for this column, second requirement is done. We have successfully shifted this value by 1 unit and subtracted 1 second. Okay. Now third requirement is for active transaction, we have to fill this value with this one. Okay. So let me copy this one. Now in order to replace this null with some value, we can use colis, right? And what this will expect, first argument is on which column you want to check. So I would like to check on this column, and whenever it is null, I would like to replace it with this value. Okay. So whenever this column is null, it will be replaced by this one. Now if I run this, great. So now we have achieved all the requirement for end date time column. Now the last requirement is we have to create is active flag column and populate its value as 1 for all the active records, and for all the inactive log record we have to populate it with 0. So for that what we can do, we can just write select ID, customer ID, start date time, end date time, and our fifth column is active, right? And here we will create a subquery from this KYC table. Now we have to write logic for is active flag. So whenever end DTTM or end date time column equals this value, we can say is active flag is 1 or basically this log is active log for that particular customer. Otherwise, that log detail is inactive. And we will name this column as is active. Okay. Now let me run this. Great. So we have successfully created these two columns with all the required logic as per the problem statement. So for all the active log, is active flag is 1, and for all the inactive logs, is active flag is 0. Okay. So this was our requirement and we have successfully achieved it. This is the same query which we have used in order to achieve the output. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We will meet in our next video with a new, interesting and real-time interview question. So please stay tuned and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you are notified whenever we upload any new videos. Okay? So with that said, we'll meet in our next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.